What do you feel are some of the biggest challenges facing nonprofit that you've seen over the last couple of years?
Yeah. So perma-crisis, poly-crisis, I've heard both of those phrases. Maybe, people who are listening to this have heard that idea. Like we have just been in constant flux, right? COVID. And look, I don't think it's getting any lighter or any better. And so I'm looking the next 3 years, the Canadian government has said, look, there's going to be 15% cuts across the board. I am not hearing a lot of organizations talk about that, which I don't understand. And so I'm going to be talking about that a bit. But
Nice.
there's no protective ring, Tasha, around social services, right? There's just not. There's protective rings probably around healthcare. I think that there's going to be consolidation in the industry, right? Because there will be budgets that will be cut and the services will have to consolidate. And boards, I think, if it wasn't hard enough to be a volunteer board in a not-for-profit, I think it's going to get more challenging because just narrating the decline, like that's not really going to be good enough, right? We're going to have to step up differently. I think there's consolidation coming. I don't think charities have the resilience around revenue diversity. I'm doing this with my arms. I don't know why, but they don't have the muscle, elbows up. I don't know.
Yeah.
And boards or organizations that get creative around, I know it's a bit buzzy these days, but sovereignty or nation building, like those are the ways in which you're going to see alignment with where dollars are, right? So I'm never usually a chase the dollars kind of a guy, but I think it's important to frame what you do in some way that speaks to federal priorities. And I love that Indigenous story, right? I think that group it was very forward thinking in that, look, we're going to plan for the rainy day because the times are good, right? And the end goal, I think, is to flatten out those peaks and valleys, right? It's feast or famine often, right? And it can be done. It takes a long time, I think, to flatten that line a bit, right? If you are 80% government and 20% other, like it might take 4 or 5 years to drop that to 50% government and 50% other, which means you can ride out the highs and the lows. But that is a key challenge that I've seen organizations succeed, and this is my personal point of view, when they develop some kind of social enterprise. And not for everybody, right? If you're doing direct frontline services to youth in crisis, like you're not selling products and services to them, I get it, right? But
Yeah.
if it's possible, right, to have some sort of market economy that's separate, that runs on a different cycle from government, that really helps, right? And I just think it makes organizations more creative and innovative and an appetite to take on a bit of risk when you look at developing the social enterprise. So that would be my worldview, Tasha, about how to fix it. Social problems are very complex, I think, I mean, to state the obvious. And I think the structure of a not-for-profit is a good solution to solve a social problem. I also think business can also solve social problems. And so if you're really innovative and creative, right, I would think, and you're thinking about starting something, I would really look at a different structure other than a charitable structure to solve that problem.